Water. The water we have today is the water we've always had. We all need water and can't live without. Every day we use water as it is a vital condition of life, but by 2040 most of the world will not have enough. Now, more than ever, we know we must preserve our most precious resource, our blue gold. Our vision of the future? Use water twice. Hydroloop ensures perfect quality recycled water to substantially save on domestic water usage. We are the first to create turnkey products that empower people and organizations wherever they live with smart and affordable water recycling products, without compromising on personal hygiene or quality of life, and seriously contributing to one of the greatest challenges of mankind, drastically reducing the use of water.
Good evening, welcome to Water Think Tank. Water Think Tank was initiated to create a space to explore and discuss past experiences, current approaches, innovations, and future needs related to the water ecosystem in a broad sense of definition. Technology Thursday is intended to showcase various technologies and their applications to build knowledge and create awareness amongst industry players and the public, as well as provide exposure to the works and exploration of the scientific community. With me today, I have Mr. Muiz and Dr. Azila, both from Reveal Sendian Berhad, and today we'll be talking about a new technology that recycles grey water. Okay, welcome to the show, guys.
Hi,
Raja.
thank you for accepting us.
Okay, so without any further delays, maybe we can start with a little bit of background about yourselves. I mean, tell us what you like and what drives you here today.
Okay, I think I may start first. My name is again Muiz Zainuddin from Reveal Sendian Berhad. Maybe a little bit more personal about me. I have three daughters, and then I'm married with my lovely wife, happily married. Still, I hope so. And then I love sports and I enjoy nature.
Okay, we'll explore a little bit more about that later. What about you, Dr. Azila? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, nothing much from me. I guess I'm into environmental science. So I did my study in South Korea, and and actually I'm still single, and I'm living, and I
Okay,
have
guys
five.
out there.
Yeah. I have
Good
cats at
platform,
house.
to use. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm free and available.
Okay, so thank you for the sharing. But let's get into the grey water recycling. So, for the benefit of the people and our viewers outside, maybe you can give us a little bit of background to what exactly is grey water. Where is it coming from?
Okay, I think it's better for us to give a little bit, maybe a brief background about our company, and then we'll go straight into the grey water recycling. Our company, Reveal Sendian Berhad, is a water technology company, and then our mission is to accelerate access to fresh water. And then, because of the mission, we tend to explore the innovative solutions. And then the puzzle for our mission that we are putting effort in, there are three areas. One is a water generation, second is a water recycling, and then the third one is water software. But today we will focus on number two, which is the grey water recycling. The technology that we carry is called Hydroloop. Okay, so I think if we want to go straight into the details of what is grey water recycling, maybe we can show some slides here to assist you guys for giving you a better picture of it. I think slide the next page. Okay. I think let me start by asking you guys to imagine, for example, in our household, uh, in general, the supply of the water is coming from the local water operator, which is the quality of the water is a potable quality. So here we will talk a lot about the terms of potable and non-potable. So I think it's better for a better clarification of the term used. Potable water is water that human can consume. That means drink, or maybe you for the cooking. And then non-potable water is basically the opposite of it. So you cannot consume or use for cooking and so on. You can use for other activities. So here, I take back to the supply just now, which means we receive the supply of a potable quality from local water operator, and then we use it for our own consumption, for in terms of many activities. For example, if you can see the slide, we use for taking bath and shower, and then we use it also for using for washing machine, and then garden irrigation, and then toilet flushing, and any other activities that involves water. So the second term that will be coming out from this is the categories of the wastewater after it being consumed. Number one is gray water, and then number two is black water. So gray water is described as lightly contaminated water. And then the black water is the water that contains urine and feces. So that is the difference of the category of waste that we produce after we consume the water. Okay, so uh, as the system name, which is grey water recycling, that means it takes the grey water, which are the waste from your bath and shower, from your washing machine, from the aircon water
Condensate.
condensated water. So it take all those water and then recycle it, go through some treatment process, and then it can be recycled and then ready to be used for non-potable water. That means you don't drink it or you don't use it for cooking. So it can be used for non-potable activities, such as, you can see the first main thing is toilet flushing. Do we need potable quality water to flush our our waste,
Our business.
our business? So, and then number two, for example, garden irrigation, I think it is more than enough if you use a lower quality of water. And then it can be also used to wash your clothes using giving the feed to a washing machine. And then it can also be used to top up or to fill in the swimming pool. So that is basically the focus of grey water recycling. That means, in other words or in summary, take the grey water, recycle, uh, recycle, and then use for non-potable activities. So,
Okay. So I'm going to stop you right there.
okay.
Just to share, for those who have just joined us, we are on Technology Thursday today, and we have two representatives from Rivers and Berhad sharing their technology Hydroloop, which recycles grey water. And Mr. Muiz was talking about the sources of grey water, typical sources of grey water coming from our showers and our washing machines. So this does not include water coming from the sink when we wash our food and things like that.
Uh, to answer, the short answer is no, because the category of black water, the description of the black water, it stated that sometimes the wastewater from the kitchen, which includes food, can be characterized in black water. So this does not include the the wastewater from the kitchen.
I see. Okay.
Mhm.
What about what we use in our showers? Is there a certain guideline or some things that we're supposed to use in the shower or not allowed to use in the shower for our water to be considered grey water?
Okay. I think that one, okay, the first thing that maybe people need to know about this technology, the core of it is using MBBR technology. That means moving bed biological reactor. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cik Raja, because this is your field actually.
All right.
Correct. So it uses some bacteria to perform, some treatment. So number one that cannot be, uh, dumped in is some sort of heavy chemicals, for example, bleach. And then
Okay.
of course you cannot, pass urine or throw your feces in that shower outlet. Uh,
All right. That's something that caught my attention there. So that there's a little bit of no on how you can use your shower after you install the system.
Yes, it needs basically this application needs a certain mindset as well of or attitude that you need to adapt to in order to make it work lah, basically.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Before you go into the technology, because I know you have some media to share about the technology,
Okay.
what are we looking at in the slide? So I see on the top is the source of the wastewater,
Yep.
and the attractive looking rectangle, that's the system.
Okay.
And in the bottom you have what the product water can be used for. So it typically for toilet flushing, as you put it earlier, and
Yep.
we can use it for washing our clothes again, and also for putting it in the pool, and also for garden irrigation. So
Yep.
uh, well, I can see a lot of people might be interested, especially we have people who may not have a lot of access to water, or people who are looking to reduce their environmental footprint. So you were about to tell me about the technology. I think it's in the next uh, media slide that you want to explain this one,
Mhm.
right? So,
Yep.
walk us through a little bit on how the system works.
Okay.
Dr. Azila, I think maybe you can take this. Hmm.
Right. So as you can see, hydroloops is actually is a device that is I can say all in one system where it treats the grey water in your household, or it can be cascaded into to treat more volume of water in a small building. So as you can see from the diagram, it has six treatment process that is ongoing in the device, in the machine actually. So the first step is when the input water, which is the grey water from your house, will enter on top of the machine. And then the first step is sedimentation. So the sediment is collected at the bottom of the tank, and then it will be removed to the sewage. And the second step is flotation. So during flotation, the floating dirt such as the hair and the soap, so it will be skimmered on top of the machine part, And then the third step is dissolve air flotation. So in this step, we introduce tiny air bubbles into the treatment tank process, and then these small particles will collect all the other sediment particles and to travel upwards, and it will be skimmed off to the sewer. And then number four is fractionation. So this is actually, that's why we take the input from the shower and the washing machine where it has the soap and the detergents, right? So these soap and suspended solids will be combined and float onto the top, and it will be skimmed off to the sewer. And then the fifth is it will have the MBBR, which will help to degrade the organic compound in the water. And then so this part that makes the machine itself is able to have low maintenance, and it has is able to do self cleaning. And then lastly, the treated part will go to the last process where the recycled water will be disinfected with the UV, and then this recycled water will be then flow to your toilet flushing or your garden irrigation tank or your swimming pool. So that's basically like how the process of the hydro loop works.
Mhm.
I think I can see some questions from the audience actually.
Yes, maybe
Like
we
there
can pick.
are, yeah. So they are mentioning about one need two sanitary piping system.
Mhm. Yes, one need
So
the piping system.
yeah, so there's one need two central piping system, and this is also relating to can it be retrofitted to existing homes or does it only make sense with new homes?
Mhm.
So I can say that apparently in Malaysia that we do not have separation pipelines in the household. So basically we do not have the grey water pipeline and the black water pipeline. So everything, the water that is consumed in the house, it will be immediately go to the sewage, to the manhole. So in this case, we this hydro loop is only makes sense in a new development house only. So I think Muiz can further explain about it.
So recycle ready, is it?
Yeah, to make the building recycle ready.
I think
Uh,
what this is from a Facebook user comment. I think this is from an Ilyas Saidin. So sorry, this is from Siva. They're asking about whether it can be retrofitted into an existing home or does it make sense only with new homes. So I guess what you were talking about, the requirements of waters coming from the black and the gray. So if we were to consider such technologies in existing homes, does it mean that we will have to redo our plumbing system to route different kind of waters to the system and others to the drain or to the sewers?
Yes, correct.
um,
So technically, in the existing building, it will be a lot of I can say work have to be done because you have to restructure the whole plumbing system in your existing house, right? Unless you are in the step of trying to remodeling your
piping
sanitation
system.
system, yeah, the piping
Mhm.
system in the house, then it will
Mhm.
be. But I think my opinion is that it's best to introduce the hydro loop into in a design phase of developing the house.
Okay,
It
so
doesn't mean that it cannot be done, but it can be done, but
Mm-hmm.
extra work because the hacking and so on.
Right,
I
extra work
see.
and extra cost.
Mhm.
What about in terms of space? How much space does it actually take?
I think if you or we don't have the picture here,
Uh,
but we can give the analogy of a one big refrigerator, only that
ah,
space.
okay,
That
okay.
uh,
The single door refrigerator, not the double door.
All right, so
mhm.
it just takes up space as one a single door refrigerator would take. What about in terms of other requirements? What kind of energy consumption are we talking about? And does it produce sound, smell, anything along the line?
Mhm.
In terms of energy consumption, is quite low. Is I mean, this is based on the Europe consumption, so it's about 175 kilowatt hour per year in a year
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. So it doesn't really needs a lot of energy consumption. And in terms of sound, yes, we do have the sound when the pump starts to say pump the water to the outlet. And then maybe during the injection of the DAF, which is the dissolved air flotation, maybe at that time you can hear a bit of the bubble like in the aquarium. But I can say the decibel is about 40 dB. It's not that high, so it's not really disturbing. And so far, in the Europe country, they have been putting it next to their washing machine or at their kitchen area. They do not have any smells outside because I understand MBBR, and then it's like the aerobic bioreactor. They might have some kind of sulfur or nitrogen smell, but no. So far I can say the experience, the user experience, it was good. It was good.
Okay, so it's just you put it there and it's quiet. It hardly bothers you. Can we
Yeah,
say
it
that?
hardly bothers. And even the design is actually, I can say, it's quite pretty. It's like just another decoration that you have in the house.
Okay, all right. I know you have another slide. Maybe you're supposed to prompt me, but I'm a bit excited. So what are we looking at here?
So basically, in this slide, it's just to show you all that before the treatment, so the water is the gray water. So the water from your shower and then the air conditioning unit. And then after the treatments, means after the whole six process, then you can get a clean water. But you mind again, this water is not suitable for drinking. It is to be used as a non-potable water, which is for toilet flushing or for your garden irrigation or to top up your swimming pool. Yeah,
Okay, okay, but it's relatively clear, but it's not classified as a potable water. So,
right.
okay, before we go any further, for those of you who have just joined us today, if you have any questions about recycling grey water, we're talking about the technology. Drop in your questions in the comments, and we will try to address them. We have Dr. Azila and Mr. Muiz from Reveal, and I think we have our previous speakers coming up. There's Anthony from halfway across the world watching us, and we have Ilyas also giving us some comments on about adding technology and okay. I think he has a comment. His comments are in part, so I'll try to capture some of it. And he's a practitioner of rainwater harvesting. So I think there's a part that he's looking at considering some practices we have abroad about using grey water as it is to use it for garden irrigation and soil application. So does this create barriers for people to accept your technology? I mean, if people can think, my shower water, if I just collect it and pour it into the garden, so instead of, having to install something, redo my plumbing and uh, it's a bit of a hassle. So what is the additional drivers to have Hydroloop in our houses?
I think for this one, for example, if let's say the application of the end user is focusedly mainly for garden irrigation and so on, I think rainwater harvesting is perfectly fine. But if let's say if you install Hydroloop, the grey water quality can be used for taking shower as well, toilet flushing, and also toilet flushing and even washing your clothes.
I think we can show the slide number 3, the previous slide.
All right, this one.
Yeah, this part.
This one. Okay, for example, okay. Okay, on the left side, I'm not sure this side is the same as yours, but on the grey one, you can see the situation where without hydro loop. So for example, you use a case of 200 liter per day, and then this is the consumption: bath, shower, kitchen, laundry, toilet, and garden and pool. But with hydro loop, actually you can use back the water of for your garden and pool, for your laundry, for your toilet, and then the other part of it, kitchen, you only use for example 102 liters tap water only. So this using hydroloop, you can save about 50% of your tap water consumption because you recycled it. And then I think it captured my interest because Encik Ilyas, right, mentioning
Yeah.
about the uh, um, rainwater harvesting, right?
Yes.
Because there is a case where a Hydroloop client in Belgium, where they pair it with the rainwater harvesting, and then Hydroloop pair it, the reduction of the consumption is 90%. 90% of the usage of tap water. But of course, the consumption it can remain. It can maintain the lifestyle of water, but you are using less water. So that is one of the case, where they couple the rainwater harvesting and also grey water recycling.
Okay, we have a question also from a YouTube viewer, Imran Abdul Halim. He asked, the technology does have disinfection, so I think it should be can't. Why can't it be consumed? Does it include disinfection?
Yeah, it's just the UV disinfection, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I mentioned that there are 6 steps, and the last step is the UV disinfection. Of course, in generic, like when you do the water filtration in your house, you mentioned that, oh, because it has the UV disinfection, you can drink directly the water, right? But in the case of Hydroloop, the water source itself is from the grey water. So there are actually the parameters that we are looking at, the effluent, the output water is only very basic. It's just for like discharge back to the nature. So in terms of changing it back to the potable water, there are a lot of filtration that is still needed. Because so that's why even we have the UV disinfection, but it's the purpose is not for drinking. It's just to make sure that the water that goes back to the nature is kind of like cleaner a bit, like less soapy and all, and lack of bacteria.
All right. So maybe we can have another question from the user. Uh, can the system be operated by solar power? And perhaps this can be extended for use in disaster situation to treat flood waters. Oh, how do you comment on that?
Wow, to treat flood waters.
Interesting question.
This is very interesting.
If I have to
uh,
comment here, of course it can. Of course, it can be operated using solar power. By having energy, you can from the solar power convert it into like a proper supply. You can basically power up anything, any device. So that's answer the first question, and then disaster situation to treat flood waters. I think this one, because I think flood waters contains very much very much other thing, like contamination, right?
Like
Contamination there.
silt, and it may have dirt and silt, from the mud,
yeah,
right?
so
Yeah.
there will be a need of pre-sedimentation or something
Yes,
else.
they
So
have
the
to
It,
be
it,
hydrolytic
very
system.
safe. Huh?
it's not intended for that use, like I can say. So
Mm.
I'm gonna hit. There's another question. What is the future potential, both in terms of cost and potential water savings? So we're talking about the water savings here. So
Mhm.
it shows that you're gonna be able to save about almost half of the water that you're actually using due
Yeah.
to recycling. And how much is that in terms of cost? I mean, how much water can we save?
I think for answering how much water can be saved, we touched a bit earlier. It can reduce the consumption about 50%, 45 to 50%. But on the cost saving, yeah, I think as you might, as we all may aware, the water tariff in Malaysia is, I think can considered very low. So if you want, you know, if you are looking towards the, cost perspective, for us we have some difficulties because, like I mentioned just now, the water tariff is quite low. So this is based on our experience, the interest is coming more from the sustainability side of perspective. You know? And then the places where they have lack access of fresh water. For example, remote areas. Sometimes there's people want to build their home in off grid, for example, and then some of the interest coming from project developing a project with a green approach, and then basically they came to us lah. So
Okay.
that is some clarification lah on that.
Okay, why don't we get rid of the slides? Then we can have a little bit of more comfortable chat.
All right. So
I noticed that your tagline is using grey water or recycling water to use it twice. So I'm gonna ask you, why is it 2 times? It cannot be recycled more?
Well, I guess technically like it is recycle back actually. So basically like
you use back the water that you've used lah. Well,
so
so
the
Okay.
that
first yeah the sorry Muiz go.
that means, yeah, you are using it twice, but actually you can there, because there was a saying, like some joke before, during our meeting with Hyderloop before, maybe there's some molecule of water is just going in there infinitely, not sure, but maybe there is some possibility there lah. But answering to your question, it's actually more lah, but to keep it catchy, use the water thrice, or 4 times is maybe not catchy as twice.
Okay, so it's actually just a tagline there, used twice, but the system does not will not be able to recognize which water has been used once or twice. It will just be in the loop, as the
Yes,
name might suggest. It's a hydro loop.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
yes.
because technically like you never recycle your water, right? Like usually in your house, do you recycle your water? No, right? And then do you use it twice in your house? Usually you just go to the manhole. So that is considered once. But with harder loop in your house, and then it's technically like you are using it twice. Because it's like you recycle the grey water and it's been using back as the toilet flush and as the garden irrigation. So technically that's why it's like used water twice in that
Okay, all
sense.
right. So it's not really literally twice. It's just using it more than once.
Right, right.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that this technology is coming from Europe, and there are case studies that are of applications in houses in Belgium. What would be the biggest challenge of getting more people in Malaysia to use it?
Challenges, okay, for the implementation in Malaysia. I think the first one, we have to look at the perspective of the motivation of the a certain user or end user. For example, like I mentioned before, if it is in terms of cost related or cost benefit projects, it would be some kind of hard for us, because at the end of the day, they will count how much water they will save, and then they will translate it into the amount of money that they save. obviously it will take a very long time for them to recoup the ROI lah from that machine. But that is one of the challenges. And then the other challenges that I can mention here is the because like we mentioned before, because the system needs a separate wastewater categories of plumbing. So like the concern of our audience just now, we need to be retrofit, which is some kind a lot of extra work compared to new projects. But the new project usually, when the construction done, the design of the plumbing is already there, the design of the architecture is already there. So uh, for us to basically really engage in a certain particular project is we need to be engaged at earlier stage of the project, maybe during the design, uh, work with the architecture consultant, and then that is the area where we can materialize this project with Hydraloop. So the challenges is we need to be extra early in terms of our one application.
Okay, you
So
did mention working with architects in the early stage of a development and things like that. What about certifications? If we considered the installing a system in a new building, perhaps would it get like a green certificate or further acknowledgement of the building or something along those lines? Are these systems in place?
Sheila, you want to take that or?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's a very good question. For example, to the developers and to the architectural company, and then to the green consultant. Sometimes when they are developing a project, of course, sometimes they are, for example, a GBI scoring. This we are not yet receiving the My Hijau certificate, but we are only in the process where we need to submit the renewal agreement with Hydraloop to be awarded or issued My Hijau certificate for Hydraloop project. So from what I understand, when we have a My Hijau certification, it can some sort of contribute to the scoring of the GBI index, which is I think for if I'm not mistaken, number one is WE2 categories. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jila.
No, it's correct.
WE2, which is water recycling. And then number two, we have categories of innovation, which is the full score is 6. So I think those are some of the benefits that it can bring to the project developer or construction company.
Let's take another question from our viewer. We have engineer Elias actually asking the question again. He pointed out the MBBR that caught his attention. Membrane is quite expensive. How often do you change the membrane? The basic cost of operation, monthly or annually? So maybe I will help address the front portion. The MBR is a membrane bioreactor, right? So for MBBR, it's actually a moving bed biofilm reactor, right? So you're talking about having biocarriers in a suspension within the reactor, and I think this is in the central part of
Right.
the hydro loop, right?
Right.
So maybe we can address the second part. So how often do you need to change the media, and how much does it cost when you actually have to change the media?
Well, technically, we do not have to change because the hydro loop itself, it works automatically, and it has a regular self-cleaning program in the system. So usually, like because the only because of the self-cleaning, the sludge that is happen in the MBR, it will be automatically removed to the sewer. So because of the general process, the automatic process. So the only maintenance that is needed with Hydraloop is actually like the UV lamp, where you just sometime after 2-3 years the lamp is expired, then we have to replace to a new one. And the rest of the years, because the lifespan of Hydroloop is 20 years actually, so basically nothing much. It's just the
Mhm.
UV lamp, and then yeah, self cleaning.
And then
So the am I correct to say basically your cost would just be the electricity that it consumes, and
Right,
eventually having to replace the UV light bulb?
right, correct.
pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much that.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So what is the main idea of bringing Hyperloop into the market for the end users? What is Rebuild thinking? And I know you say sustainability, but
Yeah.
maybe you can explain further on which part of sustainability are we looking at exactly?
Mm, I think to answer that questions, we have to explain again about our vision of the company. Actually, the mission of the company, which is accelerating access to fresh water at affordable cost, is coming from the data that we had, which is saying that there are a mismatch of between supply and demand of fresh water, because for example, overpopulation is increasing the demand, and then the climate change, changing the weather patterns, and then some old technology being used in the current system is decreasing the supply. So that is where the mission comes. It's derived from the gap there, and then uh, we are looking into puzzles that we need to make it complete. One of them is grey water recycling in terms of accelerating access to fresh water. So I'm not sure this is answering your question. Basically, that's how we look at it lah. Because at the same time, we want to educate people as well. You know, for example, the same thing as water think tank. I think you guys also enthusiasts in water in sustainability, and then we also don't mind. For example, uh, we used to ask for the project developer to get ready with recycled water, recycle ready
Right.
building, because if let's say if they don't use our product also, but the grey water recycling is happening. So the answer is we have a better future. There are
Okay,
more towards
we
grey
have
water.
actually another question from the same
Mm.
user.
Mm.
He's comparing the use of Hydroloop with Coway water, uh,
Mhm.
virtually maintenance free. So the Hydroloop or the viral loop there. How is the maintenance and replacement required? Okay, you've addressed this, and needs servicing after usage. So actually, we've I think Dr. Azila and Muiz has covered the
The
part on
maintenance
maintenance.
part.
So
Mhm.
basically, that there's not much maintenance required by the end user because there's a automatic cleaning on the bioreactor part, and the light bulbs just need to be replaced once in a while. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, so I think Miss Juanita already mentioned.
oh yeah, the away water, cleaning water that's already clean, right? So yeah, if we go back to the main idea of using water, I think the important part is the education. So what is Reveal doing, or what is your team doing in addressing this?
Mhm.
Sorry.
What is your strategy on getting more people on board? Because
Um,
before this, I have not heard about Hydroloop. So I mean,
Mhm.
where is this being marketed? I mean, what end users are we targeting?
Oh, okay, okay.
oh,
Uh, I can say that a lot of collaboration and also engagement is being made with architectural company, green and sustainability architecture company. We also working with a green consultant company. I'm not sure. I also, the first engagement with them, I also never thought that this kind of a company existed. Just giving consultation about green and sustainability. So they also work together with the clients and also the project developer. So and then the third one maybe project develop. This is talking about the new projects lah. New projects. We also are talking to project developer. We engage with associations. For example, we are in the midst of finalizing a webinar with MBAM, which is quite a prominent association, Master Builder Association Malaysia. So we would like to educate, the construction players about the existing of the technology, and also educate them regarding the grey water recycling.
Okay.
If I may add, actually, because I saw the question is where is this technology currently being used? Of course, it's in Malaysia. We are still at educating phase. We are trying to educate that you can use your water twice, but in the European, because they already have this knowledge in mind, so this hydroloop has been used a lot in the places. For example, like even a mosque. In mosque, when we take the wudu, right, ablution, we waste a lot of water actually.
Mm.
So that water actually is clean, and then you can just recycle back and then reuse back.
Mhm.
So that is one of it. And then sometimes they even use at the dormitory or places like they have a shower room, like in
Mhm.
the gym or sound
Sports
spa,
spa.
right?
Mm.
Yeah. So that places also like they have one source of the shower room into one pipeline, and then it can just enter the hydroloop. So hydroloop has it can be cascaded into like a few units can be cascaded into can take more water volume and then recycle back to be used. So I can say I think what else in
So
Mm.
it's
yeah I,
interesting that you pointed out. So Hydraloop can potentially be is modular. You're saying so it can potentially be used in larger installations.
Mm.
right.
You mentioned gyms and spas where people you have a lot of water coming from a use that you would expect lah, showering, and as opposed to in the house where it
Mhm.
might be a little bit more challenging because the
Yeah.
water might be just for showering, then sometimes you need to wash something and
Okay.
other activities as well. But if you're talking about the gym or the spa where people just
Mm.
go and shower,
Yeah.
that would make more sense. What about commercial installation? Is it being tested in a commercial installation, like if you have like a laundry perhaps, would it work?
This part I've asked the principal of the what the device itself, technology itself. They said that if it's too much detergent, then it will not work. It will like suffocate the MBBR system in that sense.
Mm.
I see.
Yeah, so it's just like moderate level of gray water tends to be accepted. Of course, they are still doing more research, but as for now, car wash or laundry, that kind of places is still not I can it's still not available for that.
Okay, we're about 50 minutes in. For those of you who have just joined us, we are on Water Think Tank. Today we're talking about a technology that allows home users to recycle grey water, right? And we have with us Dr. Azila and Muiz. Um, let's just put the scenario of if we make, like you say, it's easier in Europe, right? They have installations in Europe. What is different in Europe than in Malaysia to be able to sell the system? So I think the first answer was already addressed by Muiz, talking about the water tariff, because
Mhm.
because it's dirt cheap in Malaysia. There's
Mhm.
not much drive to actually save water. So apart
Mm.
from that, what other things need to change before people actually are able to appreciate this kind of system even more?
I think for me, number one is the uh, uh, public mindset itself. So, but it did the problem is needs to be addressed by education For example, one of the effort that's being done by water think tank, those kind of stuff. But for example, for it takes, for example, sometimes many years, hundreds of years to change the people behavior and mindset of a certain community itself lah. Basically that is one of the highlight point for me.
I think it's best if I can share another video, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
Yeah, that video will be show the whole scenario actually.
We people take water from and out of the earth more than it can be compensated for in the form of rain. So we have to recycle our water, and it's so simple. What we do now is we produce drinking water. It's brought to almost every home. You just open the tap and it runs out. And then we use it to flush the toilet, which is kind of stupid. And that is why we invented the hydro loop.
See? Push when a washing machine is ready. We have been living 1.5 years here right now. For over a year we have been using the hydro loop. So we wanted a very energy efficient house. And we do that by reusing the water and showering in short intervals. This time of month we already saved 1,674 liters of water.
So what we're doing is we're injecting millions and millions of air bubbles into the water. And the interesting thing is that on the bubbles, the dirt in the water, the suspended solids they're called, they actually stick to the skin, to the outer skin of a bubble. That's what they like to do. The bubble travels up, and because of the soap, we create foam. And the foam is skimmed off, and it actually leaves again the system here to the sewer.
Our goal is that no house will be built anywhere on Earth without its own water recycling system. To motivate other companies so that together we can supply water recycling products to people and to organizations so that they have the power to just recycle water themselves and contribute to a more sustainable world.
Okay, that answers a lot of the questions, I think. So it's basically what drives the individual. It looks like if you are appreciating how the water usage and its withdrawal from the sources does affect the environment, and how you can contribute by just using less or using reusing your water. That is another, I think, driver which is probably the key to having this kind of technologies to come into the country. I don't know if you want to address the question, but there's a bottom line question. How much would it cost to install one of these babies in our houses?
This one, I think I advise to reach us at any platform. We have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have our website, so maybe we can talk more on that lah.
So let's not have spoilers on the show today.
No spoilers.
For the viewer, if you'd like to know more about the system, maybe they can give you a discount of some sort. Okay. So we're almost at the end, and I think we've covered quite a lot of grounds in terms of what the system can do, what it cannot do, and other potential applications in like halfway across for the industry application lah. We were talking
Right.
about gyms and spas and things like that. Um, what else would you like to see? In terms of where Hydraloop can be applied. I mean, where else are you targeting? And if homes have been addressed, where else can this go to?
I'm not. I mean, like Hydraloop itself is a bit restricted, right? I mean, if we are talking in generic, like grey water recycling, because I'm not really familiar in the water industry, but so like I want to know in Malaysia, do we have this effort ongoing actually? I mean, probably Raza, you know about this matter, like in and because yeah, frankly speaking, my background is more on the soil and atmosphere, and then I just when I finished my PhD, I got back to Malaysia. I just joined Reveal about a year ago, and that's where I started to be more indulged in the water industry. And I realized that the water in people like in Malaysia, we take things light about water in Malaysia because we feel that we are tropical climate. There's always abundance of water, and then so far Ais Selangor always provide clean water. We do not know the other part of this. I mean the other states, right? How the water is like. So so I mean like so in Reveal itself, we are trying to kind of educate people. Of course, as you can see, our technology. I mean, if someone recall my first talk show with Raja and Siva, we mentioned about what generating water from the air. So Reveal is basically like we are trying to find a new innovative water technologies. We're trying to get the water to be sustainable. Like after all, the water that we are be using now is actually like from the dinosaur time. Like it's been recycled. Like it's not from out nowhere else, right? It's from the earth itself. It's just been recycled. But the fresh water, the access to fresh water is actually is getting limited because sometimes our demand is higher in comparison, and then you have to treat the clean water, right? So treatment of water is actually very high cost. So how about we try to recycle whatever the water that we can in the house, so that we do not burden the nature as well as our water operators. So there are many hidden costs that we do not know. So this is actually like one of Reveal mission, like to educate people, try to initiate people that okay, you don't think that the water is always there. You don't know when the water will be just gone like that. So for example, just a simple one, if like say there's a contamination in the river and Ais Langu shut down, everybody panic, right? So that is just just a very like that is something that we can control. I mean, of course it's not really control because some people just throw. But if like a natural disaster suddenly happen, then how? Like the drought season, then where can you get your water source? So in that sense, so yeah, we just trying to slowly educating and then try to open up to the people.
But every small effort should count. I mean, even for someone who does a lot of research in water treatment and wastewater treatment, I would say the idea of the Hydroloop bringing in together all those technologies, putting it together, and having the confidence of putting the collection of technology in someone's homes and having it run for 20 years without expert and professional supervision. I think this is the main idea, that's something we have to respect. The confidence of and the quality of such systems to be able to be built with such confidence. So I think as we go along, as the technology matures, probably we will see more such installations or even similar installations coming into homes in Malaysia. I don't doubt it, because the idea of having decentralized recycling within individual homes, it's a good idea actually. So I hope to see more development and more units being installed in Malaysia, and perhaps more research maybe by Reveal to bring in new products and new enhancements to bring down the cost, perhaps. I think that's the biggest challenge, right? So,
Right.
okay, we're about there now in terms
No.
of time. So maybe I'll let both of you to wrap up. Muiz, do you have any last words for our viewer before we wrap up today?
Mm, uh, I would like to, express the gratitude to Water Think Tank for inviting us, and then also the audience that invest their time to listen to this us talking, and then we also happy that we can share this with all the people, at least bring awareness to the people, regarding grey water recycling, and then we hope for a better future for all, especially Malaysia, our beloved Malaysia.
Okay,
Okay,
well
back to
said.
you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Dr. Azila, any last words?
I don't think I can top up that. But for basically, I would like to say thank you as well to the Water Team Tank group, because for hosting this program is really good and innovative. And also, I want to say thank you to Engineer Elias for very brilliant questions. It opens our minds, and I mean, it's really good to have this kind of discussion because it is relating. Like, okay, we can understand more how to develop more, how to make more things better. And then for the other viewers, I hope that you guys understand more that why do we need to use water twice in your household or in your daily life, and then try to save water as much as you can. And that's all for me.
Okay, so on behalf of Water Think Tank, thank you very much for being with us today, Azila and Muiz. To the viewers, thank you very much for your time. And do find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, Water Think Tank. Good night.
Good night, all. Thank
Night,
you.
everyone. Bye bye.